On this boat, we've got two 9-position switch panels. There's one on the port side of the Mercury control display and another on the starboard side. These two switch panels control the accessories that are installed on this boat. Let's start on the port side switch panel. On the left-hand side of that, there are 3 bilge pump switches. There's a switch for bilge pump 1 in the forward compartment, 2 and 3 are in the center aft bilge. When the pumps are running, you'll see a red light energized on the switch. This is true for both automatic and manual modes. If you turn off one of the bilge pumps and the red light stays illuminated, that means that the pump is running on automatic. If it persists, you need to check the bilge to see why the pump is still running. The port side panel also has a switch called macerator. This operates a pump that evacuates water from the starboard fish box in the aft cockpit. A red light will illuminate when you turn on this macerator pump. Below the macerator pump, we have a spare switch. This can be used at a later date for installation of an aftermarket accessory. This button has a blue telltale. The next switch you'll see is the parallel switch. It's a momentary switch that allows the batteries to be paralleled. You must hold it for as long as you want the batteries to be tied together. The parallel switch comes in handy if you ever find that you have a battery that's low or in a dead state. Let's say you're out on the hook for the day and your stereo has run your batteries down. You'll be able to restart your motors by simply pressing and holding the parallel switch. That will jump the batteries together and allow you to get the engine started. In the top right-hand corner of this port side switch panel, you have your freshwater switch. The freshwater pump supplies water to the galley, the head, the anchor washdown, the freshwater washdown in the cockpit near the helm, and the freshwater shower near the dive door. Below the freshwater pump switch, you have a switch that's labeled saltwater. This energizes a saltwater washdown pump. This allows you to use seawater to wash down the cockpit if you catch a fish or have some dirt on the deck. Be sure that the seacock on the saltwater pump is open before using. Below the saltwater pump switch, you have another spare switch. This one's labeled Accessory 1. This is for aftermarket installations. Now let's go through the switches that are on the switch panel that's on the starboard side of the Mercury display at the helm. The navigation lights are turned on by pressing the Nav Lights button on the switch panel. The blue telltale light will come on when activated. This will activate the red and green running lights as well as the light on the anchor light mast. Just below the Nav Light switch, there's an anchor light switch. If you decide that you'd like to anchor at night, you'll need to turn off your nav lights and turn on your anchor light. This will illuminate your 360-degree masthead light and allow others to know that you're at anchor. The hardtop lights are 4 colors. They are energized by pressing the button 4 times to get the various colors. Spreader lights are 3 color. 1 is for white, 2 is for red, and the 3rd press will turn them on in blue. The cockpit lights are 4 color. Press once for white, twice for red, the 3rd time they'll be blue, and the 4th time they'll be violet. Next is the cabin light switch. This will turn on a courtesy light in the cabin to make it easy to enter when all of the cabin lights are off. Next, we have a switch for the windlass. This energizes the windlass circuit. We'll talk about this in depth when we go through the windlass and its operation. Below the windlass switch, we have the underwater lights. These are multicolor underwater lights. When you turn them on, you'll see the colors change. When they get to the color that you'd like to use, simply press the button again. Finally, we have the bait light switch at the bottom right-hand corner of this starboard switch panel. This turns on a light that illuminates the two bait wells on the aft corners. On the starboard side of the console, we have a dual switch panel that has controls for bait wells 1 and 2. These are bait wells that are part of the Hooker bait well system. It's a pressurized pump that has a rheostat that allows you to control the flow of water to the two pumps. You turn the pumps on and then control your water flow by turning this rheostat.